Mets fan here in the Philippines, and the Mets tied the series against the Yankees with a score of 6-3, 8 hits and 1 error compared to the Yankees, 3 runs, 9 hits and 1 error. This is the game 2 tied series like I mentioned. I did not watch game 1. I was in an area where there was a lack of internet, plus it was on Apple TV. The previous game, the score was 5-2 Yankees. I was looking at the game day on MLB. Something about not watching it and looking at the score, I felt like we're not going to win. I did look at the 3 players to look at. Vientos 0 for 4, Luis Torrens 0 for 3, and Benge 2 for 3 yesterday. Same thing as today. Vientos got 1 hit, 3 RBIs. Brett Baty 1 hit, 1 RBI, and Luis Torrens 3 strikeouts, just like Brett Baty. Now, there was a key point on this game where I felt that the Mets have the chance of winning, and then there was that the Yankees couldn't do nothing after the 7th inning. But the first thing that I want to cover is on the innings. I always look at the innings, how the Mets are doing, and I looked at the 1 to 3 innings. We've been allowing a lot of runs. Same thing with these 2 games so far. 4 runs in the first 3 innings, 1 in the second, 3 in the third. From 4 to 6, it's only 2 runs. And from 7 to 9, 2 runs as well. Now looking at the stats of each player, Carson Benge, which I'm going to cover later as well. He got 2 runs, 3 hits, and 4 ABs. Looking at the stats at the beginning, before the game 1, he was batting .237. Now he's batting .245. At the lowest peak, it was around 178. I thought it was 180 something, but Gary Cohen said it was like 178, 179. Bo Bichette is still struggling. No hits, 3 at-bats, but he did get 2 runs in. Juan Soto still doing good against the Yankees. And right after that, Mark Vientos with that 1 hit and then 3 RBIs. If you look at the neon green or the green, the next 4 batters, those are the changes that Carlos Mendoza did on the lineup. I like to put them on highlight so I could see like how often he moves the lineup. He usually does the 5, 7, and 9 hitters or 5 and 7, flips them around. But now he did this with Marcus Semien, now batting 5th. He used to bat 7th. Ewing was batting 8th. Now he batted 6th. Slater, he batted 5th. Now he's batting 7th. Brett Baty, I believe Brett Baty as well was in that area. He did go right-handed. That's when MJ Melendez and Austin Slater. And this is one thing that I like, that he hasn't moved Brett Baty against other opponents, Mark Vientos against other opponents, AJ Ewing. He puts him against both lefty and righty. Not only that, if you look at, I want to say that AJ Ewing right now is struggling, but it's still good to have him in the lineup because you're giving him that opportunity that you gave Carson Benge. Brett Baty, he's been doing great. His average from the beginning of the series, which was a .217, compared now that he's batting, let me double check that, a .220 to what he's batting right now. That is a .231. That's a .011 batting average going up. He did strike out 3 times. When it comes to the pitching, we kind of knew that Brassabon was going to be the relief pitcher and then Peterson or someone else and then Peterson. Brassabon 1.1 inning. David Peterson allowed those 2 runs right away. That's when I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't watching the game there. I was in the bus coming to the house. As soon as I came in, that's when, I'm not going to lie, watching the game, I feel that vibe that we're going to come back. That's when Juan Soto was batting. He walked. And then everything turned around with Vientos, and the score now went to the Mets afterwards. Not during that time, but then later on. But I felt confident. Brooks Raley, he did 0.2 innings, 1 run. One of them was the error on the 7th inning. Luke Weaver. And this is where I want to cover one thing like I mentioned, and Devin Williams. But covering something that happened yesterday, like I said, I didn't watch the game. I did watch some highlights. Clay Holmes got injured. I know they got a relief pitcher that came up, but I think that's just to fill up the void for now until we decide who to bring in. It could be Chaminade, which I doubt it. It could be Tobias Miles, which I doubt it. It could be Jonathan, which he allowed like 4 runs 2 or 3 days prior he got injured, or 2 days prior that Clay Holmes got injured, or a day prior. And Jack Winninger, that I noticed hasn't pitched in the past 6-7 days, which he probably was the next pitcher, and they put him a pause, and maybe he's the one that they're going to call up. They were probably hoping Jonathan, but since he got nailed, maybe they're going to bring Jack Winninger. That's just my speculation, just looking at the Syracuse pitching rotation, and I feel like they skipped them already. When it comes to these 5 pitchers, the ones that I believe that still have a chance to pitch on the final game is Brooks Raley, that had 18 pitches, Luke Weaver 19, Devin Williams 12, basically the whole rotation. Oscar maybe as a last resort, since we still have Tobias Myers, who pitched the day prior, and he pitched 25, and the other one was Austin Warren, which pitched 33, which is a little bit high. Hopefully he's able to pitch, because I don't want Chaminade to be pitching. That's just being brutally honest. Now, the comments or things that I heard is AJ Ewing. There was a comment from Tommy Tanauis. I forgot the title of him, but he's one of those that observes the draft, and he was around the Mets organization doing that draft and prior draft picks of other years. And he said that when it comes to defense, the player that he felt was the best player during that time was PCA, as in P. Crow Armstrong. So they knew before they traded him for Javier Baez how good he was. But he also said that AJ Ewing for him has the best outside and a better hitter than PCA, and that speaks a lot. He did get caught stealing, which some people say obstruction of the base. Another, from my view, is people are going to start doing that, putting their feet there, and once the hand passes the base, the sliding player is going to skip that base. Basically, he's not going to be able to touch that base. The feet is going to block it, and then he's going to get called out. That's how Ewing's play was, which I don't agree with it, but hey, that's the rule, and people are going to start bending that rule. Now, when it comes to Benge, like I said, 3 hits. He did allow that error in outfield with Cody Bellinger, hit the ball. It was an obvious catch. Josh was at second by him dropping it. What I didn't like is he didn't hustle for the ball. It was AJ Ewing that hustled for the ball. Judge made it to home, Cody Bellinger to second, and that's not only the bad news. Right after that, Paul Goldschmidt got hit by the pitch, and then Jazz Shilson bunted over the head of Brooks Raley. The good thing is that once Weaver came in, he got 2 strikeouts, and then Volpe did what he supposed to do and not hit the ball. He's like 0 for 5, but we're treating him like Aaron Judge. He has 5 walks. I don't know why we're walking him. But if you look at the Yankees lineup, the last 3, sometimes 4 hitters are batting under 200. It's a 1, 2, 3, or almost for sure a 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they put Trench Grisham as a leadoff. He's batting under 200. I don't understand why we're struggling with that part of the lineup. Other things is, Bichette is 2 for 32 in his last 32 at-bats. With Clay Holmes, that's 13 players that have been gone to the injured list. It's 14 with Andy Ibanez, but I don't really include him. But that's him. Now, when it comes to the Yankees, I gotta give them some props. They have a good 1, 2, 3, as we saw with Schlitter, and then Max Fried, which is injured, and Gary Cole that pitched in the minor leagues, a 99.6 miles per hour on one of the pitches, pitching above 90. It's a solid team for the first 3 pitchers, but the next 2, just like Rondon, what we saw on game 2, and then Elmer Rodriguez on game 5, they're not that great. Now, one thing that I saw yesterday with the Clay Holmes injury is that Jesse Dominguez got injured on a Nemo fly ball. He got replaced by Spencer Jones. Once Spencer Jones took over, as we know, for Dominguez on that game. Later on, when we faced them, Jones is the one that got injured, Clay Holmes. Just looking at the little cycle. Now, when it comes to Epler, this is the Epler's Mets. When I call the prospects, and like I said, the prospect that we might call is Jack Winnegar. He's a Epler pick, or Joanna Tom, which is also an Epler pick. I like looking at who was the general manager when they came in, who's the special for the draft, and so on. So far in this, since I started looking and tracking our standings that we were in last place, now we're the 6th worst team. We're tied. That's a positive sign. San Francisco, we already passed San Francisco, the Rockies, Angels, Astros, and the Royals. Like I said, we're tied. We're tied with the Red Sox. Hopefully we win on game 3, and we keep on moving the ladder. I'm looking at 2 things that we're moving up, because some of them are going to be slower than the others. And the other one is now we're the 4th lowest in run scoring. Right below us is Boston Red Sox, the Rangers, and the San Francisco Giants. Talking about Epler, talking about Spencer Jones, how he injured Clay Holmes. When he was with the Angels, they drafted Spencer Jones, but Spencer Jones did not sign. We have to look at all the players during his time who was drafted. With the Yankees, he was not the general manager, but he was part of that group that drafted certain players like Aaron Judge. I'm just trying to put that out. I'm not trying to say he's the one, but he was part of that group that drafted him. Like I mentioned, Elmer Rodriguez will be pitching for the Yankees against Freddie Peralta. I know a lot of people bash Freddie Peralta for not reaching 5 innings or 5 innings only. We also have to look at Carlos Rendon, 4.2 or around that, 4.1 innings. That means that the rotation of the bullpen of the Yankees took a toll. That also means that some of them are going to be limited for the next game. Let me just look at this, since I'm making this video late or almost around the Mets Yankees game 3. I want to see if the Mets already put their lineup. They haven't. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same type of lineup. They have the right-handed pitcher, Elmer Rodriguez. That means players like, I know Brujan is not going to play. Zinger might play because it's a day game. Taylor might not play. And it's between Melendez and Schlager. When it comes to the pitching, like I said, who it is, hopefully we win. Now, that's all I got. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Have a good day.